Hey there, everyone. It is now time to update on the diet. Let's do this. So, today I weighed 146.2. I jumped up zero point 0.2 pounds, zero point 0.6 pounds from yesterday. Don't you just hate it when you're 0.6 pounds away from your diet goal and then your body just decides to make you double the amount that you're trying to lose? It's great, isn't it? Moving along, I ate. What did I eat today? A beef burrito with the carb balance mission tortilla. It had 4 grams of net carbs. Next up, I had a turkey and pepper jack cheese sandwich with the last of the pepper jack cheese with mustard and mayonnaise, as well as some chili powder and a little bit of jalapenos that were jarred jalapenos from the fridge. It was pretty good. I liked it. All right. And I also had a bag of Quest chips, pizza flavored, and 2 cans of Mr. Pibbs. All right, well, moving on. For the final meal today, I had leftover baked chicken that my mom made earlier today, but I was at work, so I wasn't able to eat it when it was fresh. Luckily, though, I did look up a tutorial on how to make it taste almost fresh. I followed it exactly, and it was a decent enough job. Apparently, you need to leave the chicken out for 15 minutes. Then, when you put it in the air fryer, make sure you pour a little bit of water into the basket so that when it heats up, it steams the little container so that way the chicken doesn't dry out. So it's nice and moist when you eat it, but not too moist. And then to crispify the skin, you just spray it with some cooking oil, and then you cook it for 400 degrees for 4 minutes. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, when you cook it the first time, you need to do it slow so it doesn't dry out the chicken too fast. So you do it for 320 degrees for like 6 to 8 minutes. I had it, and I'll have to say overall it was decent. I could still tell that it was reheated chicken, but it wasn't as bad as if I were to say reheat it in the microwave. Like it tasted fresher than microwave chicken, so that's good. I liked it. Had a good flavor, I would say. Well, next up, I guess we can go on to the exercise, which, well, as you could imagine, it's just walking around work. Maybe a little bit of running here and there. That's about it. Okay, now we can move on to the daily update. So I woke up at around 11. I remember walking into the living room trying to figure out what I should eat. I ended up going straight to the TV, and I decided to see if there was anything interesting to watch on there. And I think I saw something. I'm forgetting what it was, but then I ended up just turning it off because nothing really looked interesting. So I heard my mom and our family friend had arrived outside, so I opened the door for them and I greeted them. Then I decided to, well, I drink some water first thing in the morning, as I do every morning. I decided to make some coffee when they arrived, and while I was drinking that, I decided, my mom decided to make food for us. So she heated up some beef that she made the other day. I think it was like the beef Lioreno or like beef stew or something like that. And put it in tortillas. Of course, we had to go with low carb tortillas. Pretty good. And then I decided to take a shower. So I took my shower. When I was done, I got dressed and then I immediately needed to leave for work. Said goodbye to my mom, my sister, and our family friend, and that I love them all. And eventually I arrived at work by car, where my first hour was spent on lot, and it was a nice hour. I enjoyed it well enough. My next next 2 hours was front end bagging. Went by very well. There were some silly jokes said in the front with one of my coworkers with the customers. I'm forgetting what exactly the jokes were, but they were really corny and silly. Stuff like, why is the tomato red? Because it's all the salad dressing. And another one was, how do you find Will Smith in the snow? You follow the Fresh Prince. So goofy jokes like that. I then went out a lot for my 4th hour. During my break, I did some breath work, which was nice. Not much to say other than that. And yeah, after my 4th hour of doing a lot, I punched out for lunch. I drove home. I greeted my sister and my mom, who were both working hard at trying to unclog our sink, because our sink's currently clogged right now, which is really annoying. Looks like we may have to get a plumber because it ended up not being able to get unclogged today. My mom and sister wanted to show me their finished painted cookies that were made of salt and flour instead of, salt, sugar, leavening, stuff like that, because they're supposed to be inedible decorative cookies, not edible cookies. And yeah, Mom did one of our orange cat Malcolm, and my sister did one of her cat, Call Me. And Call Me looks all scrunched up and like how he looks when you hold him on his back. And Call Me Malcolm looked like how he was like sitting down, normally. They were very cute. I then decided to make my lunch, which ended up being the turkey sandwich. And then I got the Quest chips and a Mr. Pibbs, and I ate that and drank that while watching a Jesse Michaels video where he's interviewing a NASA scientist about his beliefs and his conviction levels on certain UFO cases. Apparently, the NASA guy said one of the ones he had the highest conviction for was of a Japanese flight captain who apparently saw a walnut-shaped UFO that was like 2 aircraft carriers large and was moving at ridiculous speeds. It was pretty interesting. And apparently there was radar data recorded of the event, so that made it even more compelling as well. Of course, after I was done eating, I was still kind of hungry, and this is something I forgot to mention in the diet update, but I'm going to mention it now. I also had a Premier Protein chocolate-flavored shake, and that was pretty good too. Eventually, I was done with eating. I decided to see what my mom and sister's Valentine's Day cookie decorations looks like outside, because they were drying outside instead of the cat ones. So, there was hearts, there was flowers, there's all manner of different cookie, and they were all very cute. I really liked them all. I then got into conversation with my sister that ranged after making a cup of coffee, with the Magnifica Evo machine that ranged from, oh man, I don't know why, but I suddenly blanked out. Like I had it lined up in my head what I was gonna say, but then as soon as I was about to bring it up, it's like my brain dropped all the papers and it's like scrambling to find them, and now like I can't remember. Like, isn't that funny? Um, yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. I'm just gonna move on. But yeah, we covered a range of topics. Oh, now I remember that range from headphones, such as these Sony WF-XM 4000, which don't really work that well anymore for me because like I tried fixing them DIY style by putting new lithium batteries in them. The problem is that now the connection's all messed up, so the it keeps on switching between sound, like ambient sound and noise canceling, automatically with the left one. So it's just a really awful experience now. So I'm probably just gonna get a new set of earbuds in the near future. That's what we talked about. Another thing we talked about was what I was watching, the Jesse Michaels interviewing the NASA scientists, and I showed her a little bit of what I was seeing, and they were showing like them like talking about the Roswell crash and how like there was a piece of paper that one of the lieutenants was holding in the picture. They tried to use high-res scans and AI machine algorithms to see if they could translate what was in that piece of paper, and apparently it said like there was like a saucer and like crash victims and location that it was all sent to. It was all pretty interesting. Of course, my sister is highly skeptical of this, as she should, and as should I, because you always gotta take this stuff, as fun as it is to listen to, with a grain of salt, because, you know, it's cool, the idea of aliens and spacecrafts and whatever, but if there's no physical proof, there's no pictures, there's no, like, actual, like, craft material to present, and it's all just a bunch of conjecture and like I saw this, I saw that. Ooh, then it's like it's not really convincing. But if there's like actual some kind of evidence, like, you know, like footage or like traces of landing or like radioactivity or things like that, then it could make sense, you know. One of the more interesting things that the scientists in the podcast was talking about, the Jesse Michaels podcast with the NASA scientist guy, the most recent one as of this video publishing, the one I'm making, is that he was talking about the Go Fast gimbal video with the pill-shaped, tic-tac-shaped UFO. And what he stated was that it was going at such breakneck speeds at the drop of a hat that even our best jets that we currently own right now, if we sent them on those speeds like that, they would immediately start to break apart due to the velocity of the wind. So whatever power is inside of these things, and this is what the scientist said, would like be enough to with the amount of energy that a device like that is releasing based on how fast it's moving, it would have enough nuclear power to power the entirety of the United States in that little like tic-tac pod thing. So after hearing that, it was pretty mind-blowing hearing a scientist say that. I'm like, wow, that's so interesting. Definitely makes you wonder what's going on underneath the surface of all this. Like, what is that gimbal video? Is it secret government tech that they just say, ooh, is aliens to keep people off track? But really, it's like something that's so powerful that if like it were in the wrong hands, or maybe it already is in the wrong hands, that something bad would happen. I'm not 100% sure, but it is interesting nonetheless. Well, moving on. I said goodbye to my sister and my mom. I drove off to work again. yeah, the first hour was spent in the front end bagging. Of course, I decided to spend the downtime because apparently there's a football game happening right now, and it was pretty dead in the store tonight. I decided to use that time to go and restock the bags and refill the cleaners and the paper towels and the receipt tape. And I made sure to divvy out an equal amount of receipt tape to each of the check stands, which I ended up being able to do. Like, apparently I was able to fit exactly 20 receipt tapes per check stand. So everyone gets their fair share of receipt tape and no one is left behind. Pretty nice, not gonna lie. Yeah. And sorry, a little tired. It's like 1:44 in the morning. Yeah, after that, I remember I had lot for the last 2 hours, so I spent a clearing lot, bringing 16 carts and all of our signs in to the store, bagging, chatting with the customers, wiping down 3 check stands 8, 7, and 6, and then punching out for the night, taking a picture of a coffee cake that I want to send to my mom and sister, let them know that's what I would like for my birthday, which is coming up on January 30th. I will be 27 years old. And then I said goodbye to my co-manager, and then I left home. Once I got home, I went into the house. Our family friend was watching something. I decided to take out the chicken. I asked Gemini to see what was the best way to reheat it in the air fryer. It said to leave it out in room temperature for about 15 to 20 minutes. And so that way it'll heat evenly and there won't be any cold spots. Then pour a little bit of water in the air fryer before you put the chicken in, and then put it in for 320 degrees for around 6 to 8 minutes. So that way it's not cooked too fast and that its moisture is retained thanks to the water turning into steam due to the heat. And then finish it off by putting some oil on the skin and then putting it back in the air fryer for 400 degrees for around 2 to 4 minutes. So I did 2 minutes, but then I decided to put a third minute because it didn't feel as crunchy as I wanted, and then ended up feeling how I wanted it to feel. I got another Mr. Pibbs. I drank that and ate the chicken. Well, I was greeted by my mom, who asked me how my day at work was. I said it was good. I was greeted by my sister, who told me there was a weird sound. She didn't know where it was coming from. There was a humming sound all across the house, which was interesting, and it seemed like it was around the neighborhood. It went on for a half hour before it eventually stopped. She said she didn't know where it was coming from. I thought that was quite interesting. Then I ate my food. Then when I was done, I decided to go into my room, and I did 20 minutes of Brain Jam editing. And then afterwards, I just got caught in a long YouTube rabbit hole that went from YMS highlights to I don't even remember half the stuff, being honest with you. It's pretty bad when you get sidetracked from your goals in life by a bunch of stuff you're being recommended to online, and then you don't even remember a lot of it because it just kind of, there's nothing memorable about it. It's just sucking your time and attention away. It's pretty bad. So yeah, but then after that, I did 20 minutes of contour line work where I went to New Masters Academy art YouTube channel and found something to base my drawing off of, like a lady in a seated position. So I drew that, and then when I was done with that, I needed to use the restroom. When I was done, I decided to make my update video. And here it is. After I'm done recording this, I'm going to publish this, and then I'm going to take my vitamins, brush my teeth, and go to sleep. Ready for a new day tomorrow. So that's pretty much my day. Overall, not too bad. Was very positive, had a good attitude throughout work. Because you are what you think, so you better think positively. And yeah, pushed myself a little further into my goals with the 20 minutes of brain jam editing and contour line work, so that was nice. Oh, and for brain jam editing, I drew some silly pictures to put into the video, and I cut out some long pauses that I thought were too long and boring for the video. So yeah, there you go. All right, well, that's gonna do it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, and take care.